of enhanced salary hardship allowance. It has caused quite a lot of problems because there are neighboring areas which are not so designated. So you find teachers working in those areas would prefer working in the next area which is designated as hardship, and hence causing a problem in these other areas. We have noted several areas, Honorable Speaker, sir, and I think it's an exercise that we have created a team with my peers and also the Minister of Public Service, so that we see whether we can be able to rationalize this. We have a clear criteria so that other deserving areas are not denied the opportunity, and you find that even areas which are not as deserving are benefiting from this hardship allowance that a number of teachers and public servants would also like to benefit from. So I think there's a process, there's an exercise going on, because we have noted that there's clearly a problem, as the Member of Parliament has said. Honourable Speaker, on banditry and insecurity in parts of our schools, yes, you are aware, like Baringo, the incident that we had the other day, very unfortunate. You are aware a few years ago of what we had in Turkana, and of course many other parts of this country where schools are not spared out of instances of insecurity. We work very, very closely with the Minister of Interior, which has the mandate of ensuring that security is guaranteed for our runners in schools. And of course, you will find the school, probably the best we are able to do is to employ a watchman, and these guys, when they come armed with firearms and all other weapons, a watchman cannot be able to counter and stop any such attacks. So we are working very closely on this. It's an area of great concern because it affects running, it causes fear, even when it has not occurred. Sometimes you find the children are traumatized to an extent where they cannot be able to do what they are supposed to do in school. We want a peaceful coexistence, an atmosphere that running will be able to take place in our schools. So we are working closely, including giving money. We gave 100 million to Baringo. The military has been trying to reconstruct some of the schools which were destroyed by the bandits. We did the same in Turkana. Some of those schools are now up and running, but still we cannot be able to say that 100% we have been able to sort out that problem of insecurity. But so far so good, because you know the efforts being done by my colleague Kindiki on this area of security and trying to mitigate on insecurity in those areas. And I think we are getting some good progress, even if there are still instances that are happening in these areas. The other area is on medical cover. Members, you know that it is only the other day, I think, that you passed the universal health coverage rules, which will be able to apply universally, including to our school-going children. The Eduafia that we had that was covering all our children at separate different levels, considering what you did, because all these things were put together, unified, integrated and amalgamated in such a way that the system we are coming up with should be able to serve better. So as of now, sometimes there is that lacuna, there is a vacuum in between here, because when we encounter a problem, and that's why we are hoping that the regulations being worked on will be done quickly, so that in case of any such cases we have, they can be covered. The other one is that education, we have 32,000 primary schools countrywide. We have over 11,000 secondary schools. We have over 500 TVET institutions. we have over 70 universities. As CS education, there is a structure. If you were that you want to cover each and every primary school in this country, or you want to cover each and every secondary school, it is not humanly possible. So what I've done in most of education is to create an environment where the officers are able to deliver, they are able to work, and I thank the members of this house because you were able to assist me in that effort. We have now given transport to a number of your constituencies, the sub-counties, and the few that you have not been able to give AIE so that they can be able to move around doing the work which is supposed to be done. Equally, those ones which have not been given, we are giving. We are also creating systems in such a way that if it is the regional county directors of education, if it is the county directors of education, if it is the quality assurance officers, each and every one of them to know their mandate, what they are supposed to do, and to be able to do their work. So that at the ministerial levels as CS, when I'm oversighting the entire country and getting reports on a daily basis, I'm sure that for sure my people are working, because it is through these people that the impact of the CS can be fed everywhere in the country. It is through them that whatever policies that the government has in matters of education can for sure be achieved. NEMIS, you know, before the establishment of NEMIS, the kind of problem we had, because we were operating manually. Same problem that we are having in TVET institutions, in our higher education universities, but now with the digitalization, we are coming up with a system which we are going to call KEMIS, covering every level of education, right from basic, primary, junior school, senior school, all the way to TVET institutions and the universities. And I think in another 4 months' time, we should be able to roll out that system where we should be able to capture data of each and every individual, and it is that particular information which will be able to take him through all the way from primary up to university. And of course, NEMIS has been able to help us to a large extent. But you know, we did insist that in order for one to be registered under NEMIS, he had to have a birth certificate. And there are parts of this country, as you are aware, where a number of our young ones have not been able to obtain these particular documents, and hence it also has few problems because not all the people are registered under that system, because then it denied them the opportunity of accessing capitation. Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, if you can allow me on capitation, because there is a question on capitation, so that when I come to that particular question, I can be able to answer it, because I have it in my written answers, so that I can be able to answer it at that particular time. Honorable Speaker, as I said, we have set out safety measures. Actually, the major concern in the ministry, particularly when we have either any activity bringing schools together, even when school children are now moving out, we have insisted that the county director of education must be informed, and part of his responsibility is to ensure that particularly the vehicle they are traveling out with is compliant, is properly serviced, and it meets the required standards before the children are taken out. We have strict timelines on when they should be able to start and when the journey should be able to end, because we don't allow them to travel at night. We are also working with the police on the incident of Moranga, and I'm sure once we compare our notes, the driver, if he went diverting and doing other things, we are going to get answers. And of course, there is an element of criminality in this thing, where it might not just be disciplinary action, but somebody will have to be taken to court because it's something we cannot allow. The affected families, members, you know that Unfortunately, as a ministry, we don't have funds to assist these families when they lose their loved ones. In actual fact, I think those who know, sometimes I also fundraise amongst my officers. Each and every instant, minister, that is not money from the ministry. That is money which I normally fundraise. But we assist them with transportation. We try to raise funds as a ministry to buy coffins and at least to make it a little bit easier for the families which are affected by this, because we cannot be able to go misusing government money or using money which has not been allocated to us by Parliament, because that particular fault is not anywhere given. Our teachers, particularly our principals and administrators, like now, each and every year, each and every holiday, we bring quite a number and give them training in Kemi, our institution here, and also in Simastea. Why and what is it that we train them about? Some of these things we are talking about is the major training that we are able to impart to our administrators of schools, so that they know and are well equipped with information, so that they can be able to manage better our institutions. We will continuously continue being alert. We will continuously continue monitoring, and this we do almost each and every other week. If I'm not having virtual meetings, sometimes if they are not physical, because like now we have divided the country into 8. You will see the CS moving around with my regional director, each and every area, because there are items that we cover, and among the items we cover in these meetings with our officers, who will then be able to enforce, because they represent us in each and every part of the country, are some of these particular issues we have discussed here, Madam Speaker. With that, I require to submit.
Thank you, CS. I think I will give 2 follow-ups. The Honorable Member for Njoro, Honorable Kathambi Chepkwony.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Allow me to start first by telling the CS thank you for sorting the Egerton University matter. I'm expecting the way you paid them 100%, it will be a continuity. Thank you very much on that. CS, I'm just raising the matter on the matters of TVET. It is unfortunate we have so many TVET in this country which are not equipped. How soon are we going to equip these TVET so that our youths can get benefit? And I'm asking that question because Njoro constituency as a complete institution which has taken so many years and it has not been implemented. The next question, CS, which I'm raising today, is the matters in relation with some teachers who sometimes become sick in the respective counties where they have sent for their duties. And there have cases where I have very sick teachers who come from my constituency, but probably someone was posted in Nyandarua and the other one is probably in Lodwar. My question is, CS, why don't we bring these teachers in the localities of the constituencies where their families can take care for them while they are just giving the services to communities? And the last one, CS, which has become a big thorny issue, even I'm raising this because I raised it even the other parliament. It's the matters of registration of the new schools, whereby members of parliament, even when they have a plan to construct new schools, we are getting a lot of challenges. CS, for how long are we going to talk to our officers in the ministries to ensure that the new schools we are proposing for our people are really going to be registered? CS, we are so much frustrated. I've raised this question many times and I still raise it, and I'm expecting you are going to make a solution for us. Thank you very much, CS. Continue serving the institution, implement the matters of the TVET. Asante.
Thank you, honorable members. Let's try and keep it brief. The Honorable Bishop Kosgei. Give him the mic. He's right at the back on my far left.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I seek to an answer to this question as to whether the Ministry of Education, Bwana CS, has established a policy on how to construct and build buses that carries our children in school. Because the kind of accidents we see on the road and the impact it has on the passengers, it is horrifying to an extent that we ask ourselves that these buses were built to kill. Standards all over the world indicates that they pay attention to the frame, the nature and the main frame architecture of the bus to withstand different types of load and impacts on the road and minimizes the dangers it causes on the people, and especially the vulnerable. The school buses, Bwana Waziri, got two features which are very mandatory, and that is emergency and also the issue of comfort and safety. Therefore, I am wondering whether the ministry and government has established a must policy to all the management of schools that dictates on how these buses are built. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I think I'll allow the Cabinet Secretary to answer those two. And I also realized there were some further questions that are dealing with already with questions that are coming up under ordinary questions. There are questions on special needs, there's capitation, there are many questions on counseling in schools, withholding certificates, teacher allowances, delocalization. So if your questions are on those, then let's move on because we've taken too long.